It's just a couple of days before the release of the Legend of Void in OTG. And I am very excited, especially since we are having a lot of reviews. Aside from Weather Painters getting a new card, there is the new archetype, which is the Valiant. And aside from that, we have a very crazy card coming out of our way. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of it. It's Sekitori Musomaru. So, translation to be verified once it's released by TCG on May 19th. But here is the effect of that card. So, it requires 2 level 6 monsters. It's an XYZ. And at the start of your opponent's battle phase, activate this effect. Roll a 6-sided die. Assign the next 6 main monster zones on either field from the perspective of this card that is in the main monster zone. A number from 1 to 6 clockwise and move this card into the zone assigned the number of the die roll result. If there is a monster in the zone this card is about to move into, attach it to this card as material. If it is an XYZ monster, transfer its materials to this card as well. If this card has 6 or more XYZ materials attached this way, you win the duel. If this card cannot move into a zone, or if there is a monster in a zone that it is about to move into, and it cannot attach that monster's material, send this card to the graveyard. So I'm pretty sure when you guys found out about this card and read about it, you were like, what? What again? So I actually read this 3 times before like understanding what it actually meant and reacting appropriately. So basically, in order to use this card as a win condition, because let's face it, it has an attack of 600, a defense of 3000, does not have any protection at all from destruction or battle phase, this can easily be removed from the field if you're not careful enough. So it's really not that of a good card individually, but aside from that, you, in order to pull off this grand scheme of rolling a 6-sided die and then putting it into a monster zone such that it will gain 6 materials, is actually very difficult to pull off. First of all, it has to attach 6 materials this way. It does not count the 2 materials that was used to summon it. So in general, you actually have to have 8 materials that are attached to this card in order to use its win con. And in order for that to happen, you have to win a 6-1-6 side die roll. That's like very difficult to win, by the way. And aside from that, this card cannot attach into tokens. If you go into a card that is a token, this card sends itself to the graveyard. So all of that effort in order to summon a level 6 XYZ monster will just go into dust if you like come across a material that you cannot put into it. So it's very ridiculous as a card, and I feel like this is what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! A very different kind of card game from Vanguard and MTG, because Konami can just print a hella weird card and people will just, that is Konami. I expected that from Konami. But honestly, this is very fun. I don't think anyone will be able to pull this off, except if they really like push a narrative around this card. Like how people are building decks, just so Mystic Mind can stay on the field and then stall their opponents. That kind of strategy is the only way in order for this to like work. You have to build around it in order for it to not be destroyed, in order for it to like, even if you don't win a 6-sided die roll, you're going to get this. And the funny thing is, what happens if this card falls into your opponent's side of the field? Technically, if this goes into your opponent's side of the field, it's their card now, and then you have to wait for the second turn and then wait for the dice roll in order for like you to find out if this is going to let you win the duel. In hindsight, this feels like a reminiscence of a Chinese game. So basically, Funny enough, Dimensional Force is actually releasing close to Chinese New Year. So, Dimensional Force is releasing on January 15th, and the Chinese New Year is on February 1. So, I feel like this is a bit of a homage to Dice Game, but Dice Game is played on Lunar New Year, so I don't Lunar Festival during Lunar Festival, which is on September. So I don't know if I'm making this right analogy. So basically, in a dice game, what you do is you roll 6 dice and you win depending on how what are the dice that you roll. So for example, if you roll 4, you win the game. So basically, I feel like it's a reminiscent of a Chinese culture game, which is dice game. And since Dimensional Force is releasing near Chinese New Year, this might be one of the promotional gimmicks that Konami is doing. I don't know, that's just my theory, since they are releasing a red packet promotional booster pack for Chinese New Year, so that's something to look forward to as well. So I guess that's all. This is just a very short video about me just talking about how weird this card is actually. So see you all next time.